How's everyone doing today? Hello, hello. How are you guys doing? Welcome to the Thursday sharpening class. As usual, we're in beautiful, lovely Vancouver. It is a very sunny day. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Lots of people in the patio today. I don't know if you guys noticed right down the lane there. There's a little patio. But if you guys didn't know yourself, if you guys haven't been on social media for a couple of days, we are doing free sharpening for all the Vancouver restaurants in the hood here, just because the government has basically disallowed indoor dining. So all you guys are just doing outdoor dining. So we want to help out our friends in the industry right now. So if you guys got knives that you guys want to bring on to us, it is a bit of a queue, but we will get it done for you guys as soon as possible. So if you guys are interested in getting your knives sharpened for free and you work in the industry, come on down and we guys can hook you guys up.
I think we're probably going to be doing it at the Ottawa shop too, because I'm pretty sure the decree just
Ottawa
came down
is,
today.
Ontario also close all the indoor dining for restaurants too. So look out for those guys. Bring on your knives. We'll love to sharpen and help you guys out. It's such a something to get by right now.
Yeah, I got to help these folks out. They make our shop great. We want to make sure that they're going to continue to stay in business.
Yeah. Some folks already took advantage of it. We have a lot of knives today, a lot
Yeah.
more. I've cut. If you guys already, before you guys asked, I've already cut my finger today. At least it's on my right hand, and that way I don't have to worry about when I sharpen. But yeah, so come on down. Enough of that. So what we're doing today, guys, is we're doing something a little bit stranger than your typical Thursday knife sharpening class. So one thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the Shimo, and I'm gonna magically space some water on it. It's also covered a bit of a beer. Our beer choice today is Foolin. If you guys are in front of the local scene, they have a beautiful selection of beer.
Yeah, they also got a really dope patio.
Yeah.
They got like a big old tent. They're doing it up right.
Yeah, head on to those guys if you guys want a good drink. Our buddy Greg comes by and drop us a couple beers once in a while, but it would be great for you guys to head on to his place, their place, and grab a brewski and some grub, maybe. All right. So what we're doing is we're going to be cleaning off a bit of a rust on a knife. Hardy Kamuki. And it has a bit of rust, right? Pretty much everywhere, from the top, the middle, even the heel part, right? It's got that orange color to it, which looks disgusting.
Do you want to tell our friends what happened to this?
Yeah.
Knife?
So I don't know if you guys saw our newsletter today, or you guys got the email that we have Pacific Natural Stones for sale. I hope you guys didn't get caught in that joke of a post today. But there was a video that I posted right on Instagram and on TikTok if you guys want to watch it. Basically, I took this knife out down to the beach, and I sharpened this knife on the beach with that natural stone. And I put it back inside the blade guard here without thinking that maybe I have to wipe down the knife. So I just put it right in. And then when I got back here to work, I took it out and I'm like, crap. Let's sharpen this on Thursday. So we're doing this on Thursday.
This is actually a stainless knife. It just goes to show the phrase "stainless" is very accurate.
Yeah. So like it's even though like this is a very unlikely situation. This stainless steel is actually one of the easier ones to take care of. But because steel is still stainless, it has enough chromium, but eventually if you leave moisture on the blade for too long, it'll just start to rust. It's stainless, not stain never, right? So keep that in mind. This can still happen, but it takes a lot longer on stainless steel. But more acidic stuff like tomatoes and lemons will do this a lot faster, as well as the salty sea water, right? So don't sharpen your knife on the beach.
Got a couple of questions already. Our buddy Usyk, how you doing fighting Usyk? Do we get much regional IPAs from Washington up there? We see a few. Yeah, for sure, yeah. There's actually a bar just down the street called Portland Craft, and they specialize in Washington, Oregon, and California brews, and they're delicious.
Yeah, just down the street, run around maybe about 2 or 3 blocks down. They serve all the local stuff.
Yeah, we got a lot of the American small IPAs and stuff. Yeah, they fucking slap, man. And our buddy Kyle Bolden would like to know when those natural stones will wash up on the East Coast.
East Coast.
Atlantic natural stones. That don't be ridiculous. Those aren't real.
I don't know anything about
those are fake. That's fake stuff.
Yeah, you guys gotta judge that for yourself.
It's too cold.
Grab yourself a good stone.
Yeah.
And flatten it out. Maybe you'll see them. I don't know. Maybe you never know. All right. So we're gonna show you guys how to clean this particular knife here. So there's a couple of different ways. I'll show you the different options. This was actually covered in one of Nalto's sharpening classes on Friday, long time ago. So we're just gonna give a little refresher here. So the different type of options that you have are a typical rust eraser, one of these guys. I'll show you one without packaging here. It's basically it's like a silicone nib, and it's like little braces inside. It's like literally just a rubber piece, and you can actually take this. It's got a little bit of braces, and you can rub it right on top of the knife, and it will just kind of remove that rust very easily. So this is the easiest way. This is like a no thinking way, and it's very easy to do it. Other things that you can do is you can get yourself some good old Comet. Right?
Oh, Barkeeper's Friend. Yeah, that stuff's the best.
Did I say Comet?
You said Comet.
Okay, anyways, Barkeeper's Friend. So Barkeeper's Friend is not the same as Comet. This stuff is great for cleaning off rust and stuff like that. You can have like a really soft sponge and basically just have a bit of this stuff, and you can rub it off. It's a very light abrasive, which is going to help to rub off the residue off too. The last little technique will be if you didn't have this stuff, you can actually use baking soda and a very simple wine cork.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure many of you guys are probably drinking a lot of wine nowadays, and don't throw away the top part. You can actually get this guy nice and wet, just like that. Grab a bit of Barkeeper's Friend, or you can use baking soda. And what I'm going to do is just add a bit to the cork, just like that, right? I'm going to add a little bit of water to this guy. And then I can use this guy to remove the rust. You can see this just works right immediately.
Yeah, super fast, right?
Yeah, it's light, not hard to do. You see that part, there's no rust here. Right?
Like magic.
Pick it up on the camera there?
Yeah.
Perfect. So let's give you a little demonstration with a rust eraser. The nice thing about the rust eraser, I'll show you guys this another trick here, is you just get this guy wet with water, right? More water there. Right, you take the rust eraser, and this is the easier way. Just kind of rub it right off. There we go. That's all it is. You don't even notice it over time, which is a nice thing. Just a little bit more. There we go. Okay, super easy, super simple. Nothing you have to worry about. Rust forms all the time. We actually had that rust for since last Thursday, actually.
Yeah, last Thursday, so we noticed it. Yeah,
almost a whole week. And it's not that bad. It rubbed out really quickly. This Masakage Shima, we're gonna see at the end of the day where it's at. We're gonna add a little bit of water and see if it rusts. And we're gonna show you guys how fast these guys rust. So we're gonna set this aside right over there. For
Hot take. I don't think it's gonna rust at all.
Yeah, it's pretty polished, right?
Yeah, it's a really polished piece. If that was a brand new Shima, it would have been rusty already.
Yeah.
But we put that guy through quite the rigmarole. We polished that thing up real nice.
It's pretty crazy too.
Yeah.
What's next here? So we're gonna show you guys another thing too as well with these rust erasers, since we're talking about rust, is they can actually clean something that a lot of people have been asking us how to clean: honing rods. Right, so honing rods are tricky. They got little black grits into them. That's just basically the knife filament just getting embedded into the ceramic. And sometimes over time, it'll just kind of feel smoother, right? And a lot of people will find it's like, oh, does it clog up? Do I have to clean it every time? You don't have to clean it all the time, but you may want to just touch it up just to get rid of all the metal filaments. The black one's a little bit harder to see because it's black, right? But you can still see the streaky line, so you can remove that if it needs to be done, right? So you just take the rust eraser, same way, and you can actually see very easily. Right, I'm just gonna rub this right on top. And a little wipe.
Presto changeo.
There you go. See how much more cleaner it is? This is the side that's a bit more dirtier, right? Yeah, and just like the rust eraser helps to declog the stuff, which is a really nice thing to have. I always find that this is the trickiest part. I used to use a green scrubby, like a green scouring pad, and just clean it off all the time. But I find this method much easier to do.
Our buddy Josh is wondering, does the rust eraser leave noticeable scratches?
Depending on what type of steel you have, and what kind of finish. Like if you have a really nice finish on your knife, like a really nice look like barely used, you're gonna definitely notice it. Like a black, like a factory edge and a factory finish is always gonna look like a pristine condition. But after you use it a little while, and it gets to get a little more of a duller color, this will kind of blend with the scratches that you have. But it depends on what you're doing. But yes, the short answer, yes, it does scratch a bit. But carbon steel is where it really excels in. You can actually rub it right on top of carbon steel if it's like a full carbon, if it's a carbon bevel, and it won't take away the patina, which is a nice thing about the rust eraser. Yeah.
Yeah, if you soak the naturals or the rust eraser like you would a stone before you go to town with it, it leaves less scratches.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you got a really rusty knife, it's better to have some minor scratching on there than a bunch of rust, right?
If you're really worried about scratching, I would prefer suggesting the bar keeper's friend and the wine cork as a better method. Maybe a very soft soft sandpaper, like 1200. We've got some of these like pads are really like fine pen pads. You can use that too as well with a bit of that comment with baking soda. It does a better job basically. Yeah. Ready to do something else?
Let's sharpen some stuff, guys.
Okay. So we're going to continue on with the trend of the rust eraser here, but we're going to start sharpening the knife here. Knife we sharpen, we'll sharpen up the mookie because it's already here, right? All right, so we're going to go through a different type of stones here. So I'm going to go through the 3 stones that I would use to sharpen this mookie. So one thing about this mookie, we have a few of these guys back in stock now, right?
Yeah, we got some movies in the shelf. Yeah, it's great to see them again.
If you guys want to pick one up, these are amazing knives. I would say they're very entry-level friendly. Anybody who wants to get into like Japanese knives should pick up a mookie. These guys hold good edges. They're not too fragile. Actually, one of the best in terms of ductility. And the ASA steel is very easy to sharpen. I find they're not too difficult. You can get an edge on them pretty quickly. And they're great for learning. They grind up pretty nicely. So this is a great way to start off with if you're looking to learn how to sharpen or just have a Japanese knife. So usually with these guys, because they're not hard to sharpen, I'm going to start off a little bit lighter on the coarser side. But I always like to start on the coarser side. So my choice today is going to be the Knifewear Professional 600. Right, a relatively slow-moving stone, but it does grind away very minimally and gives you a nice edge to work with. I typically like to sharpen my pocket knives with this guy, but today we're going to do the moogie because it's pretty easy to sharpen it right now. The next stone I'm going to be using, should I use 1 or 2K?
Use a 2K just for kicks. Yeah, we haven't.
It's not a very common stone. We have 2 different kinds. At the moment, the shaft and glass one is really nice, but unfortunately I don't have one open. So we have the nice green stone here. This is really velvety. We don't sell this nice stone anymore, so I won't use this guy too much. But we do sell this one here, which is called the Knifewear Professional 2000. So the 2000 grits range is not a very common one. If you sharpen a lot of knives, it's quite nice to have. If you have a white carbon steel, Gensan, or AS8. These are amazing to sharpen on because they're not super frustrating to work with. The grain of steel relatively quick. And when you jump from a 600 to a 2K, you get the nice toothy edge, but a bit of that smoothness to cut right through, which is a really nice touch with those knives. I like the bigger jumps because I like toothiness as the main component of my slicing. All right, so that's 2000. And that's going to be my ending stone. So for me, like I don't really need any more than this because the moogie is not super hard, but I like to give that toothy edge, right? I can go to a 4000, but I don't find it's really necessary. So I'm going to skip that for today. So we're going to go through 2 stones today. Okay.
Hey James, how you doing, buddy?
Hey James, welcome back, bud.
Happy long weekend to you too, bud.
Yeah. All right, so working with the 600 here. The 600 is, I'm gonna prep it up a bit. First thing you want to do is you want to grab a shooting stone, right? So if you guys don't know shooting, one of the most important things in maintaining a flat stone for you guys, what you want to do is just kind of rub it on top of the stone and make sure that there's no high spots and low spots. We maintain this one pretty well, so it doesn't have very many low spots and high spots. If you guys don't know if you have any like high or low spots, you can use a simple pencil. It's like get the A, and then you can just draw whatever you like, scribble, or anything to give you like a mapping, and you use your stepping stone to basically move all the markings. And if you have a bit of a part that's not rubbing off, that means it's a low spot. You just want to keep them going until it disappears. So that's the easiest way to chew it down. There's other chewing stones as well. You can get the silicon carbide version. This does wear down a bit faster than the diamond stuff, and it does stay more chew flat, I would say. This stays flatter than this guy.
Yeah,
this one's the silicon carbide. It does wear down.
Yeah.
Right. But for the average person who is just sharpening knives, you don't really need anything super flat unless you're doing like single bevel knives, right? But it's always nice to have a standing stone over one of these silicon carbide. But these are much cheaper, which is nice. Yeah, so once you get your stone cut up, I'm gonna check for my edges. A really important step in terms of taking care of your stones. This will help us so that you don't get caught with your finger along the side, as well as it prevents your stone from chipping, right? And that's always a good idea. I'm just gonna run off my corners. So you can see my corners here. That way they don't get knocked out and chipped out. A nice little example is this 2000 got the better side of that.
Yeah.
So took a chunk out of it. Not a big deal. It's still usable, but like visual appealing is not the greatest. But eventually you don't even notice it over time, which is something about stones. Okay. So working onto my stone here, a few ways to kind of get angles is just basically hold the knife 90 degrees against the stone, and then you can drop it out like halfway, 45 degrees, drop again 22 degrees, and then drop it a little bit lower for a Japanese angle. When it comes to angles, I wouldn't focus too much about it. I would focus more about the consistency of your blade. And the better you are at maintaining the same angle as you sharpen, the better the results are going to be. So take your time, focus more on the consistency more than just like what the correct angle is going to be. Okay. A couple ways that you can figure out what angle you want to start off at. If you don't know what 15 degree looks like, you can always use a stack of nickels, right? And place them right on the stone here. The first nickel acts as a spacer. This will act as the height from the stone to the spine. You place your knife right at the edge of there, and you just remove that first nickel, and then you drop it down. Right?
Our homie Robin is he's trying to get a nice Kasumi finish, and he's curious as to what stone you like to use after the 220.
220. So I personally like using the 400 grits. So sometimes people like to jump immediately to the 1000. But after the 220, it does leave a bit of scratches on the blade. And working on from 1000 sometimes, it's not going to cut the steel fast enough, right? So I like to get rid of all of it with a 400 grit stone. It's one of my favorites in the store. It cuts really fast, which I really like. And then from there, I will look into more of a very muddy type of 1000. Preferably like a knife for 1000 is a good option. We have those Amakusas at one time. Remember those guys?
Yeah, I do.
Those Amakusa natural stones, if you want to learn how to do the contrasting, those are probably the easiest to work on too. So I would suggest maybe going to 220, 400, and maybe going from those Amakusa stones if you ever get back in stock. Yeah. Or any other natural stone would work pretty fine too. Yeah. But the muddier, the better. So that's key. Muddy. All right. Yeah. Let's move on to our sharpening. All right, so once we get the angle that you want to sharpen at, right, place it on the stone there. That's about where I want to be, right? You want to start with either the heel or the tip. I'm a tip person. I like to start with a tip and transition to an easy way of sharpening to the very back here. If you want to start with the heel because you want something a little more stable, you can start from there and then just work your way towards the tip of the blade, right? But then you have to kind of adjust the tip of the blade and kind of lift your elbow and all that kind of stuff. So I usually do it the tip first. So working the tip, I typically have about 2 fingers, and my hand holds up the knife really nice and solid, and get a nice firm grip, and extend it. You shouldn't bend your wrist at some point. When you place it on the stone, it should feel very natural when you sharpen. Right, so tip first, 2 fingers, right at the very closest to the edge there, and then just pass it along the stone there. How many times you're going to do it, nobody knows. But if you want to make it really consistent, count 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, after 10 passes, you can move on to the next section here. So I had my finger at the very tip of the blade. Now I'm just going to scoot it over down to this area here. And that's where I'm applying pressure now. I'm going to adjust my elbow so it's a little bit lower now, right? And continue to sharpen. Right, so after you count to 10, you just continuously move your fingers and dance along the blade road and get as close to the heel of the blade. Okay. All right. So once we get to the very heel, okay, right around there, we're going to lift the knife off, and I'm going to check the progress of my sharpening. So the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to look for something called burr, right? So the burr is essentially a kind of like a rubbed off metal. So once you, or a hook against the other side of the blade. So once you flatten out the edge on one side, basically the metal will start to move and create a bit of will meet both sides. The burr will move on to the other side, creating a little bit of a hook, right? So you actually feel it. And that's where you know that your edges have touched right to the very apex of the blade, right? So the way that you would actually feel it is from the middle blade, you place your thumb right in the middle, and then you brush it towards the edge like that, away from the edge, right? And you should feel a little bit of that kind of like a rougher hook, right? And if you don't feel it, that means you need to continue to put pressure directly over it and sharpen that area more. So right in this area here, my tip of the blade feels really good, but as I run it down to the rest of the blade, right, this belly area doesn't feel like it has a burr. This back end though, just a little bit, right? So I'm gonna avoid sharpening that area and just focus on that middle belly area to get it sharpened here. So right there, place my thumb, push my fingers right on top of it, and continue to sharpen. Okay, right down towards the thumb or the heel. Check again, right? So after a little touch, figure out if you got the burr. If you don't have the burr, go back to the stone. If you do, you're good to go. So it should feel relatively even. The burr should feel the same across it. If it doesn't, try to make it as even as possible, right? Once you've done the one side, you can flip it on to the other side. So let's go head on to the left side of the blade here. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply just going to rotate my wrist, right, just like that. And I'm going to repeat that same motion I did the first one. Tip of the blade here, lift my elbow up, fingers right on top of the tip, and move it up and down 10 times. Okay, after about 10 passes, move your fingers down and continue to pass it along.
Oh, hello, Dr. Blank.
Oh,
how are you doing, sir?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
This is the 210 millimeter Mugi Gyuto, made out of AUSA, made by Harayuki.
Easy to sharpen. Lovely steel. So I just completed the pass on the other side. So you typically with like one side you sharpen, get the burr, and you move it on to the next side. It should be a lot easier to do the other side because you're pretty much meeting and just moving the burr to the other side. So it's the same thing. You just want to give it a quick check, see if the burr is moved over. You're good to go.
Our buddy over on Instagram here is really, really excited to watch the sharpening on the Fresh Pacific natural stones. Yeah. Unfortunately, we are not able to show you the method. If you read the blog, you will know that the Lord God Poseidon has forbade Francis from imparting that knowledge upon us under the punishment of his Knifewear staff discount being revoked, which is that's a fate worse than death.
Yeah, because I still want to buy knives at discounts. I like my knives here. Okay. Yeah, I can't say yet. Yeah, I can mention Poseidon, but I can't say anything more than that, guys, or else you get mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
Whew, okay.
Yeah, he's a vengeful god.
Vengeful god. Ooh. All right, so let's prep out the stone here. Little natural stone, a little diamond stone on top. This is my 2K now. So this is my kind of a nice finishing stone. It's a medium grit. Get the nice one to work with. More water.
I don't know if you guys saw either, but our buddies over at Kent of Inglewood, we got the Fresh Pacific natural stones here. They actually got some really dope new cologne from our friends over at Persons of Interest. It's an unscented cologne.
Unscented cologne.
Yeah.
Who needs to smell when you got something better than scented?
Yeah, I mean, it really sort of, it's very clean. I think that's the strongest note on it.
I like the smell.
Yeah, with
like
subtle hints of water.
Essential oils of the air.
Yeah.
You guys will love it, honestly. We haven't gotten in the shop, but we'll let you guys know when it comes. Love the 2000 grit. One thing you guys notice compared to the 600 that I just used is it doesn't build up a very, very muddy slurry. Apparently because it's a really rough stone, so it doesn't build a lot of mud. 400, 600, you can actually build a bit of mud with the 400, but it takes a lot more pressure and a little more patience with that one. This one is just done with the chewing stone. And yeah, so let's get on to this here.
Our buddy Alejandro says hello to Francis. Alejandro. Sabate worked out very nice. A little bit of wedging, but it's a Western knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember he mentioned to me that he was fixing up and sharpening up a Western knife, but still hasn't sharpened any of the Japanese stuff yet. Yeah, it's good to hear you're sharpening up that.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much you can do about the wedging and that. Like, they're pretty nice knives, sabatiers, but if you make them too thin, they're just not going to hold their edge terribly well.
Sabatier is a really fun knife to have.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite French knives that are made in France. All right. Man, what's wrong with me today?
That's our show today, guys. We'll see you next time.
I can't talk today. It's not my day today. Oh, God damn.
It's okay. Just relax. Just chill.
Okay,
chill, Daddy.
Let's just get back to the
It's
knife.
gonna be okay. Let's just do knives. You know knives, right?
I know sort of. I know sort of knives. I'm not the best at it, so we'll see. So yeah, we're gonna go to our sort of 2000 here. Let's go back to here. The same steps that I did with the 600, I'm gonna repeat exactly with the 2000. Lift a little double, move it up and down. Nice light pressure, right? The mud is already there. It just needs to kind of collide against that bevel and really polish that edge, right? Nice light pressure.
Our buddy Adam has started sharpening his neighbor's knives for free for practice. Gets a lot of abuse stuff on it. That is an excellent way to learn.
Nice.
Best way to learn, buddy. Good on ya. And Blank is bragging about his 60 grit stone that he got.
Oh, nice.
Man, 60 grit,
60
huh?
grit must be good. I heard they also make a 1 grit.
Oh, the 1 grit. That was
grit.
somebody else's April Fool's a few years ago, I think.
The 1 grit.
The 1 grit and the 1 million grit.
That was amazing. You probably have the actual 60 grit. I've never seen one before, actually.
No, either have I.
Yeah.
I've seen a 24.
224?
Yeah, it's not for sharpening knives, though.
Yeah, I see. Like I have a 60 grit belt sander.
Yeah.
But that's a fine. That's a course for the deals for their one day. Okay. Let's move on to the 2K. Let's move out of 2K. So I just did both sides with this guy, 2K. So the finish is nice. I didn't really put a lot of pressure. And I'm just gliding my stone on top of it. No, my knife when it gets it. So super easy. We're gonna grab a nice little paddle strop here. I'll show you guys a different way of stropping. If you guys don't have the paddle strop here, but show you guys anyways. This guy has a bit of chromium on the side of it. Some of this stuff here. This is the polishing compound. It's used for mostly jewelry. If you want to get like a really super shiny edge onto the onto your blade road there.
Before you get too deep into stropping, I actually got a really great question from Northern Lights Barbecue Company. Do you apply the same pressure on the blade with all the different stones?
No, that's generally not the case. From stone to stone, it depends on what you want to do. So the more pressure that you add onto the stone or on top of your blade, the faster it will cut the steel, right? And that's generally what you want to do with like kind of like rougher stone, like 220, 320, or 220, right? As you work up your edges, so by the time if you work with a 220 and you got the burr already kind of brought out, you can light up the pressure, right? Because you don't need the pressure. All you want to do is just burnish that steel, use that mud that you just developed through sharpening, and basically just kind of polish the edge, right? It takes a bit of time, but eventually it'll just cut enough to get it really refined. If you're doing a little bit more wide bevel sharpening, right? If you want to get that nice contrast look to your knives, you put less pressure. The lighter you are with the knife, you let the mud do a lot of the work, the better the result's going to be, right? But yeah, if you're just sharpening the edge, hard pressure at the beginning to move a lot of steel, light pressure as soon as you move up all the way to whatever you feel like. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
I think that was very thorough, Francis.
Too much information. So. Okay. I just put the strap away. So yeah, I'm gonna take my paddle strap here, and I'm just gonna remove the burrs off of it. So I like to use from tip to heel, just like that. You can also do it in sections from just like tip and move down toward the heel, just like that, and the opposite way too.
Hey, real quick, Frano, do you want to remind some people who are just joining us what happened in Vancouver and what happened in Ottawa recently, buddy?
Oh yeah, in Ottawa and Vancouver, the government has basically shut down indoor dining here in Vancouver. So a lot of people can only eat out on the patio. So what we're doing right now is if any of our homies in the industry needs their knife sharpened, bring them on down. We'll do it up for free for you guys because it is the time of need right now. So,
yeah.
If you guys have some knives sharpened, bring them on down. We'll do it on the house. It might take a bit of time. Give us a day or so, and we'll get your knife sharpened as soon as possible. So
yeah, and
if
you live in Vancouver and if you live in Ottawa and you're hungry, hit them up. Get some takeout. Go out and have some safe food on a patio. Help these guys out.
Yeah, exactly. We've been taking out some food for the last couple of days here.
Yeah.
Just supporting as many restaurants as we can.
For sure.
Just ordering out.
Yeah, they're our buddies. We got to help.
Exactly. What would we do without them, right? What would we do without them? Okay, so let's move on to this knife here. So we actually got a knife sharpened. So we're going to go to the paper test here. Okay, so the paper test is the best way to kind of figure out where you are in sharpening. That's pretty smooth, right? Look at that. So when you're pressing it through the paper, you can tell where you're at in terms of the edge. If you have a big chip, you'll feel it. If you have a bit of burr, you'll feel it. If you didn't sharpen it properly, you'll feel it. So typically, if you have a dull spot, if you didn't get the burr properly, you'll start to cut through the paper, and it'll just stop cutting, right? And then it'll continue wherever it's sharp again. If you have a chip, you'll hear this clicking sound or ticking sound constantly as you pass that same spot over and over again. And you probably look at the blade and be like, that's why. Yeah, gotcha. Didn't get you. If it goes through nice and smooth, but it feels a little bit rougher at the tip area, but it still cuts through really nicely, you just gotta strap more, right? Usually the tip is always the culprit for that. So you just gotta adjust your clip, the angle, and strap it like that, right? just at the tip there. People just usually keep it in the same angle and get to the tip. You can see that my tip actually doesn't get touched in this area because it's still lifted up, right? So I usually see this a lot. Is people don't adjust to the very, very tip of the blade.
Yeah, look at his elbow when he's doing that. Really jutted out to the side. Back to work, Andro.
Okay.
Spring garage sale will be dope, and we'll see you there. And yes, Mr. Kent, sure, why not? That's one of the beach stones. They're right over there, all of them.
You want to see the actual beach stone, though? You guys have flips here. It's just a natural stone.
I can't point the camera on it for any longer than this, or it'll get corrupted. You got to put it away.
Okay. That's enough of that.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's a nice little sharp knife. That's good to go. It's done. Let's check the progress on our friend here, Mr. Shimo.
Yeah, Skylar, if you're in the industry and you are hurting, well, you guys are getting shut down and that sort of stuff, bring in your knives. We'll sharpen them up for you for free.
Yeah, bring them in, guys. Keep us busy.
Yeah.
It's a good time to bring in your knives, right? So,
yeah, if you got an unexpected day off.
Yeah.
Yeah. A whoopsies day off.
Yeah, you guys come in this week. We got plenty of time to sharpen up your knives. Please let us know when you guys come in that you work in the industry, and we'll turn it around pretty quick for you.
How much you want to sell Kevin that beach stone for? What do you think?
Not selling it.
No? Can't part with that one. You've grown too attached.
Yeah, I had that one last year.
All right, sorry, man.
Myself.
Take it off the website. Francis is keeping all the stones for himself. That's Stone Hog.
Maybe.
What was that? That was the Takeda Natural, wasn't it? Yeah. That was one of the Takeda Naturals.
Maybe if you really want to take off my hands, like $500.
Yeah.
$600 maybe. We'll make a deal. Don't worry. Okay. I'll give you guys the progress report on this knife.
Oh yeah, the beer knife.
Beer knife. So let's see. Yeah, it's not too bad. Can you pick up anything on the?
I'm not seeing anything, honestly.
There's no rust on this
there's
thing.
no rust on this guy. Yeah, if you polish up your knives and you take really good care of them and you let that nice patina develop, just goes to show, man. Like Shimos, I know firsthand, they rust fast. They rust really, really quick when they're brand new. But if you take care of it and use it and use it and take care of it and use it and use it, then they eventually become pretty easy to deal with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I used to have a Shimo. I think it was not my favorite one to take care of. So I passed it along to one of my brothers and sisters, and they had more of enjoyment with these knives. But they do rust pretty quickly when you get them out.
Good night, Kevin.
And once you polish them, they're very nice to use it to take care of it. If you guys want us to do it, we can do this for you. And make it a little bit easier for you to do it. But
yeah, if you work in the restaurant, that work will not be free, unfortunately. But we can do it.
Yep, exactly. We can just polish it up for you and just give you a smoother surface to work with. Maybe if you guys have trouble with these guys. Yeah, but if you guys pick up the knife, there's no rust into it. It might change a bluish color. It's hard to pick it up on the camera, but there's a nice little tingish color to it. Yeah, but there's nothing happening.
No.
Ever. All right.
Yeah, knife is basically stainless now. I love it.
Pretty much stainless.
Yeah.
After you use a couple of days, carbon steel gets easier and easier to take care of.
Yeah.
The more you use it.
That's wonderful stuff.
Yeah. I'm not the best at taking care of my carbon steels.
I'm the best at taking care of my carbon steels.
Yeah,
I'm the
you're
best.
the best and not the worst.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. I sometimes you'll see my knife with the cutting board, and it'll just I'll just look at it and be like, how did it rust?
How did this happen?
Why is my patina
Why
so
am I like
dark?
this?
Yeah. Why am I like this? Well, why am I like this?
Buddy, I ask myself that question every single day. When I lose my coffee for the 14th time every day.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That happens to me too many
Yeah.
times. I lose my keys every day, so don't be like me, guys. I'm the worst. All right. Any more questions about that?
Yeah, what else you guys want to do tonight? We finished up so early. We were so effective at removing the rust from that knife with our extraordinary skills and our awesome tools and our great advice.
Yeah. You guys are super quick today. No more questions. All right. Let's move on to the stone now. Move on to the store here. You can see your months of band-aids there.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple times today. Any of you guys want to take a look at?
Yeah, you guys got any questions about knives? What do we got here? We got any knives today?
Ooh.
Yeah, what's new? Oh, we got these guys in. We got the, I don't know if we've showed these off at the class yet. The Nagaras.
Nagaras are pretty sick.
Yeah, these guys are dope.
We just sold the material the other day.
Oh, yeah. Just walked out the door hours ago.
Nice little Kurosaki shape going on that guy there. One of my few favorite, interesting one. Oh, no. We sold this Asanoa.
Oh, you sold that today. Yeah, we're selling all the dope stuff here, right?
Yeah.
This is a Nigara Hamono SG2 Kurooche Tsuchime. These guys are lovely. It's actually the first time I've seen an SG2 or R2 blade with a Kurochi finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's this guy?
Quite nice. This one is the Fujiwara Mabaroshi. A lot of Mabaroshis do come in a Western style handle, but this one comes Japanese. Let me show you a Western style one.
Blank, if you want us to polish a Honiaki for the beginner's sharpening class, you may have slightly missed the point. Maybe if you send me yours, because I don't have one to sharpen there.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever sharpened. I have sharpened a Honiaki before, but I don't think I've ever polished one before. So.
Yeah, we don't see that a lot here in the shop, to be completely honest.
No.
We can do single bevel next week. I don't know. Naoto does single bevel so much on the Friday class. Well, I think we did a little bit of basic single bevel maintenance last week, right? Yeah. What do you guys want to see? Let us know. Pop it in the comments there.
Yeah. If you guys want to see a certain video, you guys can hit up me and Owen, or even Nathan. Nathan does a bit of the sharpening or the work behind the camera there. So yeah, you guys can message any of us if you guys want to see a certain type of video that we can do here. Basic sharpening, maybe some tip repairs. If you guys want to learn how to do that on camera. If you guys want to learn how to maybe just polish up the bevel in a very easy manner, nothing too complicated that it's hard to learn. We can do that for you guys too. Something a little bit funkier. If you guys want to learn something really different and you want it to be in the easiest way possible, hit us up and we can see what we can do for you guys.
Oh, we got a good question here from Brent. He's got a Kotetsu. If you're going to get 2 stones for your Kotetsu, what would they be?
Kotetsu,
you have
the R2 powder steel?
Yeah, let me guess what you're getting. You're getting a 1,000 and a 3,000 professional, right? Yeah.
It's hard to argue with that combo. I have that at my house all the time, and it's my favorite combo to work with. My 3 stones that I usually work with is the 490 watt grit professional, the 1,000 professional, and the 3,000 grit professional too. I love the professional series. It's really good for stainless steel. Especially if you have a Kotetsu in R2, those are super lovely to work with. If you really want to take the full advantage of it, I like grabbing the 6K from Sharpening. Actually, the Sharpening Glass 6K is really nice to finish on. I've been doing that series jump: 400, 1,000, 3,000, and then 6,000 is my last. And I love that little combination of sharpening right now.
Let's sharpen this guy next week.
You want to do pocket knife?
Pocket knife sharpening. Yeah, these guys want to do pocket knife sharpening. This is my little Makusta. I'll hit this guy up next week. How about that?
Definitely.
Just for kicks.
Yeah, we'll bring a pocket. We'll get a couple pocket knives here. We have open nails and stuff like that. We can do fun stuff. Pocket knife, a little show tomorrow, next week. We'll do that. That'd be a lot of fun. Well, we don't get a lot of pocket knives in the store, but typically they're pretty easy to do, and they're sharpened in a way where you don't have to sharpen like a Japanese knife because they're going to be used much more roughly. So typically you want a bit of a wider angle. You don't want them to be too fine or else.
Well, don't give it all away. Okay. We need to have content for the class next week.
Next week then.
Usyk's asking, he frequently encounters people asking what grit their first 2 stones should be. 1K is often recommended, but then people often say something higher. And he says he prefers something lower.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It all depends on what you're sharpening, right? If you got, Wusthof. I usually don't go up to 3,000 grit. I'll do the
unnecessary.
Yeah, I'll do the 220 or 400, and then I'll do 800 or 1,000 or 12,000 or 1,200. Excuse me. That's awesome. But yeah, I find that the 220 grit stone isn't one that I reach for super frequently with my personal knives because I am such a dork and keep them in such good shape. But I know that's not the case for everybody because I work at a sharpening station and sharpen knives every day for people who bang them around.
Yeah. So let's talk about the lower grit spot here. So everybody gets the 1,000, right? And that's the one stone that we tell everybody to get. And yes, it is a very important one. But from there, yes, if some people ask you if you want to go higher or lower. When you have a low grit stone, so that's why 400 is my favorite. Those lower grit stones, if you get a really good foundation to your edge, it's gonna give you a better result in the end, right? So some people just start up straight on the 1000, and if you have a bit of like an edge that is fine, it's got a bit of a sharp edge to it, not too bad, but it still needs a touch up. To maintain the same angle as you pull back and forth is kind of hard, right? With a 400 or 220, as you go up and down, it removes more steel at each pass, and it's going to give you more of that nice crisper looking edge. You can actually have a really nice type of flat surface to that beveled look, right? And when you move up from 220 or the 400 up to 1000, you're just polishing that edge. You don't have to put a lot of pressure. You're just refining what you already developed and built right there. And then life is easier from there, right? And then as you go for the 3000 to 4000s or whatever high grit flange polishing stones, you can just take your time and don't have to put a lot of pressure. So usually I start with like a 400 for that particular reason. It's just a lot nicer. If it doesn't need to, I can just definitely start at 1000. But I typically start at 400 for a lot of people. Yeah.
So Northern Lights barbecue. I think we were doing this last week. Is sharpening a fish fillet knife a different technique from sharpening one of these knives?
Quite possibly, depending on on a American style boning one, where it's got that really kind of wobbly tip and a bit of a bend to it. Those guys are super fast and easy to do it. They just have a bigger curve to it, which is a little bit more difficult. If you're talking about the more Japanese style, which is I call it Deborah.
Deborah. I think her name was Deborah.
These are definitely sharpened a little bit different. These are the single bevel types that usually are sharpened with Naoto on Fridays. If you guys want to join him, he has a couple of videos and a couple of techniques and advanced techniques on how to sharpen these guys too as well. And then one more. I'll bring it over here. Just give me a second here.
For sure. Apparently, we're getting called out. Apparently, we're monsters. Someone just called us monsters because Pacific natural stones are endangered. Oh, Francis, you've been plundering the sea's bounty too much. You've ruined the ecosystem.
Maybe I grabbed too many.
Yeah, you took too many of them.
You want to buy mine then?
Yeah, hashtag cancel Francis.
Cancel culture here. Oh no.
It's come for you finally. Yeah, get down there.
I don't know how to deal with this. I've never been part of this culture before. That's crazy. You're a funny one. Other couple of boning knives, fillet knives. This is a Hanaseki Maru sharpened, typically like any type of boning knife. This is more for like deboning chicken and stuff like that, or doing any type of hanging butchery. So that's a lovely one.
You can hold it that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other shape of boning knife or fillet knife is this guy here. This is a they call it Gokujo.
Gokujo, yeah.
Yeah. Super rounded belly, a very super fine tip. Not the straightest on the spine there. You can see it's got a really defined curve there, right? The nice thing about this style knife is when you're filleting the knife fish, there's a lot less of that belly touching this flesh. So you can control it a bit more. You can use that tip and really get into the finer areas. When it comes to sharpening, it can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah, it tips a little bit icky.
It's actually one of the easier ones, right? So the first tricky thing is basically trying to get that belly curve into it, right? So there's a lot of lifting in the elbow, a lot of movements, and there once you get the motion going, it's actually pretty easy. And you don't want to sharpen too often. You want to get like a nice fine 1000 or 2000 or 3K, and just touch it up once in a while. And that's all you really need to do. And that way you don't have to like drop it to low like a 1K or 220 to really establish that edge.
Yeah, Dr. Blank, yeah, that is a friggin' sweet knife. This is actually my favorite boning knife that we carry.
You know, there's it's
a Makusta Pro Flame Damascus, yeah.
It's my favorite, one of my favorites.
It's got a red handle, of course it is, yeah.
Red handle knives make you cook better. It also makes you cut better.
And people just like you more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's red. Come on. It's such a lovely knife.
Yeah, flexible knives can be a bit of a challenge. We touched on it a little bit last week. You want to grab that Arcos and just we'll just do it again?
Yeah, sure.
Now that people are sort of asking about it here.
So,
Yeah.
right, so typically with these type of wobbly ones, everybody has a different technique. For me, I just go super light pressure and I let the weight of the knife do the work. So when I go with here, I just kind of
Yeah, let's just go to the stone.
Super fun. Where's my DK? This knife. Oh, a little trick here. If you guys use your Nagura stone, if you don't have a Nagura stone, you can use a wrist razor. Pro tip. And it'll just clean off your stone pretty easily. So if you don't have a Nagura stone, you can always use the wrist razor that you just got. All right. All right. So if you have a super bendy knife, I think Owen, your technique was to bend the steel.
Yeah, I
like
sort
that.
of bend into it.
Yeah, so you can bend the steel and basically you'll have more pressure and contact with the knife there, and then you can just simply sharpen just like that, right? Another technique is I'm a little bit more of a light-handed person, so I let the weight of the knife, so I apply pressure with my finger, and basically that's what I sharpen. You can see with my other two fingers here, I can just hold it with two hands and let the weight of the knife do a lot of the work there.
Sorry, Blank, I'm not exactly sure I'm understanding what you're asking. What would you recommend to follow my King 300 between that and the Shapton 1K, then what before my Rika 5K? Are you looking for something higher grit or something between the 1 and the 5?
Between the 1 and the 5, I believe.
Yeah.
1 to 5. If you sharpen a lot of knives, I always recommend a 3K.
Yeah.
3K is always nice to have in between. Between the 1 and the 2, I would say maybe 2,000. It's a bit of a personal choice. Like this grit range from the medium 800 to the 2,000. It really depends on what you're sharpening and what you're getting into. For a lot of like molybdenum steels and mono steels, I like to go up to 2,000. And then if they are standby, I usually go up to like 3 or 5K. That's a really nice finishing stone.
I think you can actually jump from that 1 to that 5 without really having any major problems, honestly.
You can jump from
between 3 and
6.
1. Okay, that's what he's asking. You don't need anything between 3 and 1. Personally, I do really like I don't know if you are into sharpening, blank. I don't know if you would what we would call a sharpening nerd, but the professional 600 grit is a friggin' monster. Yeah, I really, really, really like that stone. And I don't know why, but I'm gonna share a weird secret that I have with you. Whenever I see this stone, it's this blue one right here. My brain tells me to eat it, and I don't know why. I really want to take a big bite out of that thing. It looks like candy.
Candy.
Oh.
Yeah, that thing's like super nice to have.
Yeah, we use that guy quite a bit in the shop, actually. I was using it just a little earlier today for some pocket knives.
Yeah, this kind of reminds you of that blue electric kind of like candy.
Blue raspberry.
Blue raspberry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful that color is. All right. Yeah, you don't need anything between 1 and 3. Yeah, you're perfectly fine. The only time you need it to 1K or 1.5 is if you are sharpening something that doesn't need to be sharpened as often, right? For people who work in the industry, I always recommend 2,000. You guys sharpen your knives a lot more often. You need to go slower because it just eats away the steel, right? All right.
I think we're good here, guys. Yeah. If you got any other questions while we're doing our outro, go ahead and fire them in. Franny, take it away.
Take it away. Okay. So you guys, just a reminder about the guys in the industry, right? If you guys are out in Vancouver or Ottawa, once again, if you guys want to get your knife sharpened, please bring it down to us. We will sharpen up the knife for free. It might take a day. It might take 2 days. Come on by. We will get it done for you guys as soon as possible. Hopefully everybody supports our friends in the restaurants. So if you guys don't know already, just take out. Support our friends. We want the food scene to survive through this pandemic. So support those guys and bring the knife down. Perfect.
Don't forget to dislike and unsubscribe.
Yep.
If you've rung that bell, make sure to Well, you can't unring that bell, can you?
How do you unring a bell?
You can't unring a bell. Oh, yeah, there's our graphic. Thank you very much. My producer, Roz, has just put that graphic up on the screen there.
Perfect. Yeah.
Oh, and I should mention, friends on Instagram, your days are numbered.
What?
Soon we will be abandoning our Instagram friends, and they'll have to come and join us on Facebook or YouTube. Yes, yeah. We're if you haven't watched us on Facebook or YouTube before, we have a little bit more production. We got a director for the show. We got lots of cool graphics. Swing on over, join us on YouTube or Facebook. You don't even need an account to watch us on YouTube, and you'll get just a better experience.
Yeah, it's a little more full screen, less on your phone. Sometimes you guys can get tired looking at your phone all day, right? Yeah. So join us on YouTube, Facebook, or
we'll be on Instagram next week, but after that, not many more episodes. Yeah. One last question: how much time, on average, do you spend on a customer knife to get it sharp?
Just one? I would say maybe around 10 minutes less.
Depends on the knife.
Yeah.
Yeah. You bring us a Henkel, we can probably bang it out in 10 minutes. You bring us a Koishi that needs a lot of thinning, we can probably bang it out in 45 minutes.
Yeah. When you sharpen a really good condition knife, probably 3 minutes, right? But average time, I would say 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not super quick, it's not super fast, but it gets the job done, right?
Yeah, a lot of knives that come in here are a little bit haggard, and they need more love, Yeah, exactly. And we're always happy to provide it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't judge you, though, until you leave the door.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, guys, bring on by. We guys love to see you guys soon. And happy Thursday, guys.
Bye.